Welcome back to Fishing This Way. This is part 2, first day on the SOA. This was my first time tuna fishing. I went on the spirit of adventure. The crew was quick to help and everyone was excited for the trip. These fellas came all the way from Hawaii to enjoy this first-class 5-star charter. I got taught how to make an eddy bomb, which is a make-it-yourself tuna jig. After learning, I went to go set it up on my rod. Taylor Media is the one instructing me. He showed me the ropes and how to prepare for this trip. The next step was to tie my pre-made tuna jig to my fishing rod. So I started attaching my line to the swivel with a standard knot. And when tightening your line, you want to make sure to get it wet. That way, when you cinch it, it doesn't have any tension. It just kind of slides through. And I move it up to the swivel, pull it tight to secure the knot, and voila, just like that, I attached my rig. I cut off the tag end, and then the knot is ready to go. And then I dispose the extra line I cut into the trash. While we are on the move, I start working on my second rod. So I'm gonna put a leader line to my second rod. This is a knot a lot of people recommended to me. I just learned it on this trip. It is a nice solid knot to attach your leader line to your main line. This knot was easy to learn, and once I put the line through the hole, I just make sure to tighten it. And you want to make sure it's tight and secure the knot so that it doesn't get loose or fall off. And then cut off the tag end as close as I can and make sure to dispose the line into the trash. And now we're ready to fish. We had to make a quick stop at the bait docks to pick up some live bait. The captain came down and the crew started to get prepped to load the boat with the live bait. They use those nets to pull them to get them up.
You got 553. Way more. You need to get in here.
They had a nice system on getting the bait onto the boat and then getting back in line for another scoop. They quickly loaded and filled up the bait tank so we can get on with the fishing adventure. I always thought these bait docks were cool. They're just always out in the middle of the water. And next, Captain Evans explains how to tuna
We're
fish.
specialized for two different ranges of things that we're going to be doing, okay? This is more or less going to be your nighttime outfit. It's going to be your daytime outfit, okay? They can be switched around a little bit with the setup. You can fish this in the daytime. If we run into bigger fish, we'll set you up with probably a sinker rig with heavy pound line. This is set up with 30-pound line right now, 30-pound fly line, okay? But if we need to set this up with 40-pound test or something, we can. And but to give you guys a little rundown of what's going on. So I'm going to start with the nighttime setup because it's a little bit more technical, okay? Some of you guys, raise your hand if you've never done this nighttime fishing for bluefin. Okay. I expect there's a lot of people that have never done it before because it's kind of crazy. But okay, nighttime outfit, guys. You got to be fishing with at least 80-pound test at nighttime. Does everybody have something with at least 80-pound test? Raise your hand if you don't. Good? Okay. So you guys got your heavy gear, your nighttime outfit. The next requirement for this nighttime fishing, guys, is you have to have your lines marked for depth and distance, right? Raise your hand if you do not have your lines marked for depth and distance. Yeah, you do. It's very important reason why I say it's mandatory requirement, guys, because how we do this at nighttime fishing for bluefin, whoever's driving this boat, whether it's Luke or myself, when we stop this boat on a big school of bluefin, we're going to tell you exactly what depth range these fish in the school are hanging out at and swimming at, okay? And you're going to need to target that depth effectively, okay? So if we're telling you 200 to 250 feet, that's the depth range of this school that you guys need to target and work your lure at. If your line is not marked for depth or distance, guys, there's no way of you knowing what your depth, your lure is at. It's simply a guess and a gamble. Chances are you're not going to hit that range right, okay? Your chances of getting bites, if your lure's not in this pool, are pretty damn slim. So, that's why it is very important that you guys have your lines marked for depth and distance. So, if you do not have your lines marked for depth and distance, how I recommend you doing it, we have some line counters on board. We strap it to your rod. You pass the line through the line counter. You don't put a lure, you just have nothing on your line. You let out your line behind the boat right now while we're driving, okay? And as the line goes out, the counter is going to show you how many feet of line are out at any given time. How we like to do it, guys, is I like to put a mark every 100 feet, okay? A pretty good mark, so we got a bunch of Sharpies magic markers. I like to put at least a few different marks, you know, make it this long, very visible, because at nighttime, when it's dark out, there's a lot going on, you're trying to figure out what side do you be on, all that good stuff. You need to be able to see that mark at nighttime so you can count your depth, okay? Not only do you need to be able to see the mark on your line, but you need to count it so you know what depth you can have. So every 100 feet, line out, you're going to see the first mark go out. That's 100 feet. You're going to see your second line go out. That's 200 feet. And you're going to let it out at least halfway to the third mark. Then come back up to the second mark. Go back down halfway to the third mark. Come back up to the second mark. While you're winding on the rod, on the wheel, you're watching your line so you can see the marks. And then you can effectively work that zone, okay? That is the best way for you to work your lure at nighttime so you can get some bites on these bluefin. You guys don't know, you guys don't have a mark, you don't know what your marks mean, or maybe you're just not counting the marks. Your lure is highly likely not be in the zone, alright? You gotta be in the zone. That is probably the top most important thing at nighttime for this is being in the zone. Does that make sense? So if you don't have your lines marked, you're gonna need to strap the line counter to your rod, let it out back, and get to market. Okay. For you guys that already have marked line. Okay, so how is it marked? By color. Okay. Do you know how long each color is? That's a good thing that we need to figure out. What about you guys got line marked? You're not sure, right? Okay, you gotta look. If you have no idea what those markings mean, put a line counter on it, let it out. The rental rods that you got behind you, the color is every 100 feet, okay? So when it goes out 100 feet, the color changes to another color. Makes it really easy to find. Are you?
Stay tuned for part 3 of the SOA 3-day charter series.